beautiful, make it beautiful. Age of new beginnings, make it beautiful.
Come on. That's what we do here.
Make it beautiful, make it beautiful.
Welcome to Age of New Beginnings. I'm Elle, and I'm here with Sherri, who is a beautiful spiritual warrior, who is a life coach, a yoga teacher. She does breath work. She's magnificent.
Thank you, love.
Aw,
How are you?
Thank you. Now, you know what? If you could tell us a little bit about when it all started. When did you start doing yoga?
I started doing yoga as a little girl in my great-grandma's living room with my great-grandmother. My great-grandma learned yoga from her sister-in-law who came here from Japan.
Wow.
Yeah, during World War II.
That must be, wow.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine.
I did not even know I was doing yoga. We were stretching and holding the stretches and breathing, and
What an incredible memory.
Yeah, that's all that I thought
Fabulous.
I was doing. Stretching. It was
But you were doing it together.
we were doing it together, and I was learning from her, and I was enjoying it as a child. And I did not know I was doing yoga until I became a teenager. And I wanted to learn what yoga was. And when I went out and I found books and videos, because I am from the Midwest, there was no yoga studios back there. I went and got the books and the videos, and I started watching the video, and I'm like, wait a second, this is what I was doing with my great-grandma as a child.
Now, you've learned from many masters.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So tell us about some of the different styles and techniques, because there are thousands of types of yoga.
There are a lot of types of yoga. So a few of the types of yoga that I have learned was Sundu yoga. It is a form of yoga that comes from Korea.
So just to let you guys know, we are outside and it's raining. So there's a very powerful energy going on, and we're Mercury in retrograde. So it's like the universe is going through a cleansing, and it's exquisite. So we gotta make sure we speak up so you can hear us through the beautiful sounds of the raindrops.
It is a great sound in the background.
It is.
Yes. So where were we?
We were talking about the different types of yoga.
The different
Yes.
types of yoga. So Sundu yoga comes from Korea. It's a form of yoga. In that form of yoga, you are learning more about your breath and learning more about getting unstagnant energy unblocked in your body and doing it on your own.
That's so important.
So important. So I would be with this guy for an hour at a time, and I would be in one yoga pose that whole time,
Wow.
breathing that whole time.
You know, it's really teaching you discipline.
Yes.
Yeah. To know breath work. Breath work is how you feel. So if you're shallow breath, you could feel anxious. It could that you feel nervous. So your breath and how you breathe is more important than you realize.
Mm-hmm. Very important. We cannot survive without air, but the air can continue going on without us. So it's important to really love that air and honor that air and take in as much of it. It's our life force. It's the first thing we do when we are born, and the last thing we do when we leave this planet. So
we're going to show you a technique in a moment, but I want you to really understand, I guess, the Korean style, because it's unique.
So it was about holding that pose. It was not challenging poses that we did in the Sundu yoga either. It was very easy poses, but learning to connect with our breath and really feeling our breath. This other part was learning to unblock blocked energy, our chi, and that was tapping on our body. We would tap all over our body. Not too hard. You're not beating yourself up physically. You're just tapping.
So you're cleansing and clearing your meridians.
The cleansing and clearing your meridians. So you're going up your body. You're doing it in your chest. When I got here into my chest, now I tweak things and make things my own. I learned another form of breath work from another amazing teacher. Her name is Donna Amber. And she did a screen therapy with me that really helped me also release stuff that was stuck. So when I get here to my chest with people, I ask them to inhale and exhale out a loud sigh 3 times.
So you're going like,
Getting that out, yes.
You know what? When you go through fear, or you go through somebody yelling at you, or there's different things that happen in your life, and you shut down. So doing this is a way of opening and releasing some of the chakras or some of the energies that have been shut down.
Yes. And then, so we tap over all of the chakras as well, tapping up to our throats. This is our throat chakra. To speak your truth, to be able to speak your words, going to our mouth to remember the words that we use have power, and to be gentle with our words and only speak the truth, speak love. Is it necessary to be heard? Don't say things that's going to hurt somebody. Tapping our eyes, because there are miracles every single day that are happening around us that we are just not aware of. Some people are wearing the blinders, so awakening those eyes to see those blessings that's happening. Tapping on our third eye to realize that there are things happening that we don't completely understand, but it's real. And accept it. Tapping on your crown chakra to connect you higher to your star chakra, to connect you to source. There was a 777 breath technique that was taught to me. I teach this breath technique in each one of my classes also. It's really good for anxiety. It brings you back into your body. You inhale to the count of 7. You exhale to the count of 7. And then you hold your breath to the count of 7.
And we're going to experience that right now, aren't we?
Yes.
So I hope you guys are in the mood to learn and experience a technique that you can utilize in some time in your life. Whether you do it once a week, twice a week, whenever you feel like it's just a beautiful thing to do.
It really is. And you can do it anytime. It takes maybe less than 5 minutes. You can do it anywhere. So
Let's do it
with a nice, comfortable position. Nice straight spine. Close your eyes and begin to inhale slowly, counting to 7. Exhaling slowly to the count of 7. Holding your breath to a slow count of 7. Inhale to the count of 7. Exhale to the count of 7. Hold to the count of 7. Inhale to the count of 7. Exhale to the count of 7. Hold to the count of 7. Inhale to the count of 7. Exhale to the count of 7. Hold to the count of 7. Inhale to the count of 7. Exhale to the count of 7. Hold to 7. Inhale 7. Exhale 7. Hold 7. And then go to your normal breath.
Wow, I feel like I'm floating. It is so wonderful. It really is. And it also ignites your organs.
Yes.
You know, it's very healing for the body. It helps you cleanse your mind from all the monkey...
monkey mind.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
That are not necessary.
Yeah, we do get caught up in that.
Yes, we do.
And we should not.
No.
Yeah, and this is a great way of cleansing and clearing that. Especially if you can't sleep at night. It's a beautiful way of bringing yourself to an elevated place. Yeah.
It's a great breath technique.
Now, most people don't know some of the challenges that you've gone through. I mean, there is more yoga to come. We're going to share with you. But before she got into the other levels and beautiful aspects of yoga, she went through different periods of your life that really affected your beingness, which is why yoga is so important to you and young moms are so important to you. So I think it's great for everybody to understand you on a deeper level.
Yes. So I myself was a young mom, starting there. I had my daughter when I was 19 years old. got pregnant when I was 19, had her when I was 20.
But even before that,
I
let's go back. Let's go way back.
Way back. My first traumatic experience in life. My first one was about 10 months old, between 10 months and a year
You
old.
remember this?
And well, I remember because
Through meditation,
through my mother, talking to her, asking her exactly what was this, and I was with a babysitter, and the babysitter locked me in a potato cellar for hours. And my mom and father came and they found me. They wanted to know where I was, and there I was in a potato cellar, and I was no longer crying. I was unresponsive. I was full of vomit and dirt.
Oh my God.
That was my first feelings of abandonment, neglect, not being loved, not being wanted.
So it doesn't always have to come from a family member.
No.
This was a complete stranger, and it is so important who we leave our children with.
Very important to leave our children with.
I'm so sorry.
Well, it's helped me become who I am today.
Yes, it is.
So those feelings of abandonment and unloved and all of that left me searching for love and acceptance and feeling out of place and like an alien for a very long time throughout my youth. I was bullied. I'm tiny. I come from a small town. And when you're bullied, you get angry, more angry, and then you lash out. And I became a bully myself. And I'm sorry to everybody that I have hurt. From that, I was trying to find numbing devices because I was hurt, and I was also sexually abused, and I was promiscuous, and started experimenting with drugs and alcohol.
Which
And
a lot of people can identify.
Yes.
Whether it's themselves or it's a family member or someone they know very dear to them, that you use those different vices to either escape or to try to feel better or to numb, you know? Yeah.
And trying to fit in also.
Which is another thing that people can totally identify with. So,
And it almost took my life. I had an overdose from these drugs and alcohol one night.
how old were you then?
I was 14. And I died. I had an experience. And
What do you remember most from that?
the experience from when I died was I saw I was like up here, and my body and the doctors and paramedics and my parents and my grandparents were all down here, and I could hear and see everything that was going on in the room.
Like the movie Ghost, in a sense.
In a sense, yes. And then I came out of it for almost 24 hours. They did the thing to this cattle thing to bring me back. They sent me home because I was a druggy teenager. The hospital really didn't want to keep me. They sent me home. And when I went home, I was in my bed, and my father and my cousin was upstairs talking with me, and I felt this pain in my spine, and my whole body started to twist and turn, and I became contractured, and they had to take me to the hospital again. And at that point, I had another death experience. They had to bring me back, but now my body would move, my mouth would speak, nobody could understand what I was saying.
Wow.
And I was like that for a month. I could walk, but I couldn't feed myself. I had no perception of where my mouth was. I needed help feeding myself. The month went by while I was in the hospital. Apparently, I have no memory of this time of my life up until the very last night. The churches in my neighborhood got together and in my community and had a big prayer for me. My parents were putting me in a home for people with disabilities. So they were not planning on bringing me home the next day. I was going to live in a state facility.
Oh my God! Now you were living in the middle of the country.
I was living in Illinois at the time, in the Midwest. And that next morning I woke up and I knew who I was and I knew what happened to me. I knew my mother's phone number and I was able to call her. What I remember from the night before is a woman came into my room and prayed with me. And nobody knows who this woman was.
An angel. Yeah. And all this little girl really needed was love.
Yes.
And so
I
this
needed
person
love.
took the time to give you love, make you feel loved and connected, which brought you back, which is what a blessing.
It did.
Yeah.
And then after that experience, I got released from the hospital, and I was very curious more about yoga, about meditation, about natural medicine, about qigong and tai chi, so many different things. And being from the Midwest, there was not very many of these things available. None of these things available, except for going to, at the time, it was
Video store.
yeah, video store, the bookstore, and that's where I went. That's where I got my books about yoga. And that's when I remembered that that's what my great-grandma was teaching me when I was a child.
Which I'm sure was very comforting.
Very comforting.
Thank
It
God
was,
for that.
and thank you, Grandma.
Yeah.
So every time I'm teaching a yoga class, I think of my grandma and remember my grandma.
How beautiful.
Yes.
I am so sorry. My gosh. Now, when you came to New York is when you started to meet some of your masters.
So when I came to New York, I moved out here. I was a massage therapist back in Illinois. I thought I was going to get to come out here and do my massage therapy and help people out here. And I learned more alternative therapies when I was in school for massage therapy. I went to the Chicago School of Massage Therapy. I also went to a school that no longer exists called Sawyer College in Maryville, Indiana, for massage therapy. I moved here. My degree did not transfer with me, and I had 2 more kids after I moved here. Then I went back into a dark place again. I went through postpartum depression because I didn't have a community.
Right.
I had no family. I had no friends, and I was alone. And it's scary.
Is that when the women's circles came into the picture?
That's when I started doing yoga.
Ah.
I started going out, becoming a wandering yogi, taking random yoga classes with different teachers out here, learning the Sandhu yoga, learning Hatha yoga, learning Kundalini yoga, learning some Tai Chi, learning acro yoga. I started going to women's circles. I started going to drumming circles. I went on a retreat to Puerto Rico and released so much in Puerto Rico, and I'm so thankful for my teachers and mentors that were in Puerto Rico with me. I was afraid of a spider, and I am no longer afraid of spiders or even cockroaches.
Wow.
Yeah, no longer afraid. I went out there and I found pieces of myself that I love about myself now.
So
Released a lot
through
here.
all the different incredible experiences that I don't wish on anybody, but thank God you've come through so much, and now you want to help other young people.
I want to help other young people, yes. I am non-judgmental because I've been there, I've gone through it, I get it, I understand it. I am compassionate because, again, I've been through these things. And I just gave you a blip of my life. There's so many more details to the story that we create.
Which we all have our ups and downs and all around. Maybe not too near-death experiences, but things that have created a post-traumatic stress or fears or things that shut us down.
Yeah.
You know, and it could be something as silly as a grandma going, "Don't touch that!" You know, because you don't want you to burn yourself.
Yeah.
But yet, you know, no matter what, a trauma is a trauma to each individual. You know, so it's not belittling anybody to something as incredible as your story is to somebody else's. So everybody's story, everybody matters.
Everybody matters.
But what is incredible is that you are a young mom,
Yes.
and now you're looking to empower other young moms.
Because the children are our future. Yes, they are. They are our future. And yes, I was a young mom, and now I have a blessing coming into my life. My daughter is pregnant, and she is going to be a young mom, making me a young grandmother. She gave me purpose once, and she's giving me purpose again. And
Can you believe this young lady is a grandma? Oh my God. I mean, I'm a grandma. Okay, I can get it. But this little princess, forget it. She looks like she's 19 herself. And that's the essence of living healthy and breathing, and yoga can do to you. It rejuvenates you. It enhances all the different aspects of who you are. Your skin, your hair, your body, your strength.
It's the yoga, it's the breath, it's the drinking the water, but most of all what it is you learning to love yourself
There you
and
go.
realize that you are enough and that you do matter.
That's
And that
right.
we are all perfectly imperfect.
Divine just the way we are. And so, how can I put it? We're all working towards the same thing, which is not working. We're evolving to be the best aspect of ourselves. And through meditation, it's with yoga, which is also a form of meditation,
Yes.
you're able to cleanse your mind, you're able to tune into yourself and honor what you're feeling and where you are. And I love this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's-
beautiful process.
It really is a beautiful process. And so what I'm hoping to do is I want to work with young moms and
Make them feel like they have a community, place to go to.
yes, support somebody that's going to listen to them. Creating, did I say this already? The village. There's an old cliche. It says it takes a village to raise a child. And in today's world, we've lost that. We've become competitive and we forgot about our neighbors' kids. We don't care if our neighbors' kids have something to eat or not. We're going to judge them and tell our children, oh, you can't be around them because their parents are this or whatever. We need to stop this.
Yes.
And we need to bring back that community and bring back love and support for one another. So I want to work with these young moms to teach these young moms not to compete with each other, not to compare themselves to one another, and to support one another,
To embrace each
to
other.
embrace each other,
Yes.
to help each other with babysitting. Because why in the world are we paying $15 an hour for a babysitter? Well, I guess because we don't want somebody locking our kid in the potato cellar, right?
That's right.
So
forbid,
I
no
do
harm.
get it, but when you have a young mom struggling, they can't afford these things.
That's right. That's right. And I have a daughter with a little love, and I have 2 grandsons, and it's a magical thing. These children,
They are.
they're these little beautiful little indigos that are just so brilliant and so bright, and we want to make sure that we nurture them so we have a positive tomorrow.
Yes,
And
because they are tomorrow.
That's right, and teach them natural ways of doing things like you are with the essential oils and the things to heal the body and to make the hair grow. Tell us about some of the things that you're doing with that.
So I use essential oils, and I like to make what I call my little potions. I put my essential oils in argan oil and raw shea butter. I'd love to teach people how to do this. And it's good for, I make my own hair growing serum. I get seborrhea dermatitis sometimes. It's like a form of dandruff when you're overly stressed or in the winter and your
Sure.
skin's dry. So I've created my own hair stuff that I put in my hair.
And your hair is absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. For my
Yeah.
skin, I like to use my argan oil and frankincense. I just mix my things, using things naturally, and instead of using lotions that have tons of chemicals in it or petroleum and all of these different things that are really not good for our skin. So
Yeah, it's learning about the things that touch your body and what you breathe in really matters. So it's learning about the things that we use every day that affect how we feel. So there are a lot of different chemicals in the things, formaldehyde, toxins that create a lot of the health issues that we have. And the more that you know, the more you can prevent or restore your body. Now, the other thing that we didn't talk about that I would love to talk about is the acro yoga.
acro yoga.
Oh my God, it's
Acro
so
yoga.
cool.
Acro yoga is so much fun. It brings playfulness to adults, community, connection, teamwork. What acro yoga is there are at least 2 people together. You should also have a third person, a spotter. There is a base and there is a flyer. The base holds the flyer up in various yoga poses.
It's
And-
kind of like the way you used to hold a baby, right?
Yes. So when we were playing with our babies when they were little, and we would put them on our shins, and we would lift them up on our shins and let them fly and play with them, we take this a step further, and we put people on our feet and lift our feet and take them higher and let them feel this feeling of freedom, of flying, of having to trust the person that they're balancing on and communicating with the person they're balancing on
I'm feeling supported.
and feeling supported.
It's a fabulous
It
feeling.
is such a great, to me, I love it. It's so much fun. It's great for parents to do with their kids. This is another way to connect with your kids, because after our kids our babies and toddlers, they become these little aliens and we don't know how to interact with them anymore. So this is a great way to play with them again and keep yourself connected. And
it's strengthening as well.
it is strengthening. You need to be strong. But listen, people, anybody can do acro yoga. Don't think that you have to be a certain body type. Or, oh, I can't do this because I'm not that. Anybody can do it. Believe in yourself. You can do anything.
Yeah. So you've come a long way, and all the different experiences. You created a 3-step program that you guys can experience, and we're going to let you know how to connect to Sherri and find Sherri so she can do one-on-ones with you, or you can experience her yoga classes that are fantastic. Now she's going to have one over at the Beach Club by us on Long Island in Ronkonkoma, the Beach Club Estates, but now you can also catch her in Port Jeff.
Yes, I am in Port Jeff. It's Satya Yoga and Pilates. It's on 347, and I teach at 10:45 Saturday mornings, every Saturday. I hope to see some of you.
Oh, absolutely. Now, the 3-step process is where she integrates the life coaching, the breath work, the posturing with yoga, and it's very empowering.
It is very empowering.
Yeah.
Everybody is different, so there's no one 3-step process that's exactly the same for the next person.
It's very individualized.
It's very
What
individualized.
your strengths and what your abilities are and where you are.
And where your trauma is stuck in your body, too. Going back to our tapping, some people may have weak knees.
Right.
So, and yet another person may be having lower back issues or even shoulder issues. So,
I mean, the more you understand spirituality, you realize that everything that you're feeling comes from an emotion. And with yoga and with breath work, you're able to go through an awakening, an understanding, almost like a rebirthing, because you're able to see things from a whole new set of eyes that when you're in this meditative state, it's like, oh my God, I remember now, and as you're going through this beautiful process, you're able to shift things, free yourself.
free yourself, love yourself, yes. Learn that you are perfect the way you are.
Absolutely.
And enough.
Yes. Now, how do we find you on Facebook?
Sherri, SHERRIROUBIS.
Yes. So you can be updated on where to find her and all the fabulous things that are to come. So thank you for joining us. Namaste. And until next time, much love from the Age New Beginnings. Thank you. Ciao.
Hey guys, it's Elle.
It's your life.
Come join us.
Make it beautiful. Make it beautiful. Age of new beginnings. Make it beautiful.
Come on. That's what we do here.
Make it beautiful. Make it beautiful.